Need to wake up. This is child grooming what's taking place, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
There's a pedophile here with children. This is disgusting. What the hell is wrong with you people?
This will not be tolerated. It will not go unchecked.
Do you know you just said wake up? I actually think you parents here need to wake up. This is child grooming what's taking place, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Every single parent in here should be ashamed of yourself for wokeism. It's disgusting. This is child grooming what's going on. Child grooming. Who knows what autogynephilia is? Who knows what autogynephilia is? Who knows what paedophiles are? Excuse me, what?
Everyone here is an adult entity.
No, listen, you're a child, you're allowing child grooming going place. Don't even think about touching me.
There's a pedophile here with children. Call him. This is disgusting. What the hell is wrong with you people? These poor children. What is wrong with you sick people? Get out of here, you pedophile. Get out of here. You're not safe here. Get out of here. Yeah, that's disgusting. Look, no, this is sick. You are sick. You are sick. Look at these poor children.
It's all based on sexual.
These poor children. These poor children. How dare you guys? You godless whores. You guys are sick.
It's not okay.
You're not starting it again. This is over. This is over. It's over forever. No more sick pedophiles here. No, you are sick.
All right, so I've been watching this for some 20 odd years. You know, just... Oh, ma'am, you've been doing it forever. Welcome to the First Amendment. I fought for it.
Sir, can you just stay focused on me?
Taxpayer-paid jacket.
Sir.
Thank you. I brought it overseas.
All right, sir, just ask me the question.
So what is it about conservatives and this whole racism thing? Like, you guys are always just saying that it's either not a thing or it's, you know, just not in any of the institutions or the police department. But it seems that over the past 18 years, we've had several race riots. And the biggest one being in 2020. So it's like, how are we still denying segregation in a city where we can clearly see what fucking neighborhoods are white, which ones are black, which ones are Latino, and we know how we got there. So it's like, what is it with conservatives and admitting that there's a problem and not addressing it? Because it seems like you guys want to be obsessed with, oh, the gender thing or the racism thing, and then you guys say, oh, it's not here, it's not a big problem. But why are millions of people rioting every couple years?
So let me ask you a question.
We can say that it's Democrats and shit, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. Go ahead. So what do you think is a bigger problem facing America, single fatherhood or racism?
Racism, by far. That's how
Can you say that in the microphone?
Racism, by far, because racism gets people killed, not single fatherhood.
Well, no, a single motherhood. Let me be more specific. So single moms or fathers leaving the home, you think is a bigger problem than racism? No, sir. You're gonna have. I'm gonna repeat that one again for you. I think racism is a bigger problem than fathers being outside of the home. However, I do see fathers not being in the home is a problem. Let's make sure we're defining our terms. How would you define racism then?
Racism is a system of oppression used by a certain group using prejudice, institutional power, and it's situated by the media, government, and all these other institutions.
Give me an example of one thing you as a black man cannot do that I as a white man can do in America.
Got you. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, right? I went to a DeSantis rally, got my ticket, all that good bullshit. Been to a million different, you know, rallies of a kind, whether, you know, I was a conservative at the time or whether I was a liberal, right? I know that as a black person, I am far more likely to be arrested for expressing my view, whether I am a conservative or a liberal. And I've done it on both sides. And oh, yes, I was arrested.
You were probably being a jerk. That's why you were arrested.
And that's the best part. And that's the best part, right? That's the best part. I wasn't even being a jerk. And the courts even found, our beloved courts.
Let me make sure I understand this. So you think the bigger problem than fathers not being in the home is a abstract conspiracy theory that you have that hecklers and jerks at political events are arrested because of the color of their skin? That's the best definition of institutional racism.
No, that's not my definition on racism. I
did tell you what my definition was. Give me an example of something a white man like me can do that a black man like you can't do. Because guess what? If I showed up at a DeSantis event and started heckling, I'd be kicked out and arrested.
No, you would not. No, in fact, I even have evidence.
You know how I know that's true?
You want to know how I know it's
white
true?
Suburban kids from Highland Park, and they're arrested a lot more, actually, when you see the mugshots. Yeah.
I think that this guy probably grew with no father because there is anger and resentment in his voice. And what's even said is the victimhood mentality that he has. Ladies and gentlemen, how you see everything is how you experience everything. When your thinking is wrong, everything about your life will be wrong. One guy once said, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how big your office is, the clothes that you wear. If your mindset is wrong, if the way you think is wrong, everything about you will be wrong. Remember, by their fruits you shall know them. By their fruits you shall know them. It's actually sad because I think he's not really there to listen to anything that Charlie has to say. I think what he's really after is probably just sharing his views, maybe just hearing himself speak, and probably win the argument. How sad. Because some of these people, they are actually students, and you'd expect better from them.
The white kids are arrested a lot more. Could
Well,
that possibly be? Could that possibly
can you talk
be?
into the mic?
And I'm just guessing here. Could it possibly be that white people are arrested more because you have a higher population, and therefore by proximity you are more like? Because it's math. It's basic math. I know we hate math. I know we hate it, but I passed it.
Okay.
Unlike y'all.
So let me ask you a question. How does racism contribute to black-on-black crime in Chicago? How is white people to blame for that?
Oh, actually, matter of fact, that's actually a whole other issue. So let's talk about. So you want to talk about intracommunal violence as it pertains to
so what does
racism.
the white man have to do with
So,
that?
and that's a great thing. I love the red herring that you threw in there.
No, it's,
yes,
it's,
because,
it's a question.
intracommunal violence is proximal, right? So, when we have segregation and we got races sitting in one area, and you got another race in another area. Now, we never ask white people, why is white-on-white crime so high with white people, and but instead we focus on black people.
Yeah, so out of the 530 murders in Chicago of the last year, how many were black-on-black crime?
Hey, I wasn't looking. But you know what I do know?
Well
but
over 420 of them were black-on-black gang-related crimes. How is that racism to blame for that?
Let's talk. So now, are we going to talk about over-policing?
I'm sorry, sir. You're kind of demonstrating. You can't answer the question.
Would you like to talk about? I mean, we can talk about it. We can.
Okay.
Are you ready to address it, though?
Well,
are you ready to address it?
Yeah.
Because we can talk about black-on-black crime, but we need to talk about it as it pertains. We need to. Okay, let's talk about it, sis. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, hold on. So let me just
I'm
narrow
ready to
this down.
talk
So let me just say this,
All
okay?
right.
So if you were to rank the 100 biggest problems in America, the fact that I know we're not a racist country is the best example you have.
Okay,
so
you know we're not a
story of you
racist
getting
country
kicked
based
out of
on
a
what?
DeSantis rally. If we were a racist country, you'd say, Charlie, I can't go in a convenience store. Charlie, I can't go into school. No, we actually live in such a amazingly decent country that whoa. Let's not do that, okay?
All I did was
All right.
All I did was speak.
You're trying to pull it out.
Mostly peaceful, everybody. Mostly peaceful, okay?
I didn't lay hands on you.
All
I
right.
got witnesses. I did not touch you. No.
All right.
I touched the mic.
We're going to wrap this one up, but let me just say this.
We got racism we got racism all over the U.S. We just had a race riot 3 years ago.
Okay, so let's
in
talk
2020.
Wait, hold on.
And,
So,
oh my God! And then we had all 50 states plus 18 countries. But don't worry, Alex.
wait, so by
I'm
race
not laying no
riots
hands
you mean
I used to
mass
wear the
looting of big
uniform, too. I know
screen
how it works.
TVs? Let me tell you, it is not an argument in your favor that we're a racist country because blacks decide to start burning down Wendy's and stealing stuff. That's called criminality.
Actually, it is because you're not even looking as to why it happened. You're not even looking as to why it happened, and that's cool. You know, we can definitely play, obtuse on the whole issue. Yeah, black people were burning it down. Why? Racism. Racism was a big issue, and we can pretend that it's not a big issue. But hey, if you don't want to, then that's just called being obtuse. And that's why I asked you. Why did you have such a big problem with talking about racism? You want to claim that it's not there, and you can say all you want, but that still doesn't prove. That still does not.
If you want to talk about racism that could be proven,
rights. So
let me give you some examples of racism that could be proven. How about affirmative action at this college that discriminates against Asian students and white students? How about affirmative action hiring practices in the federal government? We are such a decent, non-racist country. The best example that he has is to show that he was mistreated. And if he acted like this at the DeSantis event, I can see why he was kicked out of the DeSantis event.
I always tell people that we need more mentors. We literally need more mentors and less ignorance. Less ignorance. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. We all have the same rights. Okay? We all have the same rights. Literally. A lot of people, they experience defeat in their lives because of the mindset that they have, the victimhood mindset. And the cure for that is mentors, teachers, people like Charlie. What he's doing, standing up, speaking the truth, leading with light, so that a lot of people, they are delivered from darkness into light. They can see better. They can see better. And the sad thing is actually, you may actually realize that this guy may have been told his whole life that he is a victim. And because of that, it has grown to become a giant, and it has produced the lack of confidence in him. And sometimes you then see these people, they then end up turning to drugs, anger issues, strife, resentment. Those are usually the things that would then lead to such behaviors. You see, when you grow up all your life being told that you are a victim, I can't imagine the lifestyle, the life that some people live, and I'm being serious. To a racist, everything is all about race. When you're conscious too much that everybody hates me, everybody doesn't like me, everybody hates me, everybody's against me, guess what? That's how you will live. That's what you experience. That's what you experience. And you can't convince anyone that they are wrong when they have already convinced themselves that they are right. You can't convince anyone, no matter the facts that you give them. They will cling on to those strongholds. They won't move. They won't move. One guy, Morgan Freeman, I think, he once said, if you want to get rid of racism, stop talking about it. Stop paying attention to the thing. That's what he was saying. Stop paying attention to those things. And I like Charlie because he asked him to name one thing that a black man can't do, that a white man can do, and he couldn't say nothing because there isn't. And it's actually painful to watch because to some of these people, facts don't matter. They don't care about truth. It's all about emotions. How I feel is how everything will be defined for me. How sad, because these are the future leaders. These are the future leaders. A future father. Guess what will he be, sharing, training his kid? What is he going to tell his kid? Can you imagine? It's one victim mentality to another, and a wrong system being created and passed through generation to generation to generation. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are full of rudeness and attitude, it doesn't help explain your point better. It doesn't help. No, you don't need to be rude to the others just because they disagree with you. Don't do it. And a lot of these people, they are the ones who are whining, who are always complaining. They are the ones who are full of that. You see? My greatest desire is that these people will actually come to know the truth. Because when you know who you are, it will change even how you treat and relate with the others. But you can only know your true identity in God, because we all came from God. So my greatest desire is that These people will someday come to know the truth and lead a peaceable life, one that is full of victory and purpose. You see, because God resists the proud and He honors those who are humble. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, be sure to click on the next one. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. I will see you again next time. Bye bye for now.